So, welcome to the 1080C podcast. I'm Trevor Valentine,
I'm Sophie Ryan.
and we're going to talk about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, the first one in 1984. So, Sophie, go ahead, give your early thoughts after watching it.
Okay, so if we're starting with 1984 as the most recent, what a show. Uh, this is a combination of like 7 plot points, and then none of them are finished.
Yeah.
That's just like what I took away from it. But if we're talking about the first one, I think that it is one of the best DC movies, I would say. Like current DC movies, because it treats Wonder Woman as a character. And I think that's really important. What did you think?
Um, I definitely agree with like Wonder Woman, the first one, especially being one of the better DC movies, but I definitely agree with you on the second for the second movie. It's just kind of like what the hell happened? They just kind of like the script is just kind of all over the place. It's not sure what they want to do for most
Right.
of the movie. Like there's like it's like I think the common thing between like bad superhero movies is they just have too much going on. And
Right.
Wonder Woman is definitely like there's this. We didn't do a spoiler.
Oh, yeah. By the way, if you haven't seen either of the Wonder Woman movies, it probably shouldn't watch if you care about spoilers. But
Yeah, if but like it's just got too much going on. Like the first 15 minutes, I was like, this is cute, this is fun. I know. And then like I liked I like Kristen Wiig in the movie, but outside of that, I was just kind of like, okay, like where is this going?
why is Kristen Wiig like in the movie for like 15 minutes? And then like because like she's introduced, right? She's set up to be like the villain, but
Yeah,
she's not. And then like she's just kind of gone, and she's supposed to be like the antithesis of Wonder
yeah,
Woman, right? But like it doesn't matter because like she's not really there.
yeah. Like she just kind of shows up in the last half of the movie. It's like
Right.
I'm gonna be a bad guy now. Like what doesn't make
Right.
any
And she's
sense.
like Catwoman, but not. And you're like, ooh, cheetah. And like,
And
yeah.
like the effects on, I had a feel because like it reminded me of Cats. I haven't seen that movie because that movie freaked me out when I saw the trailer. But like,
Right. Right.
like she like she should have been in Cats or something. Like
Yeah.
and see, like in the first half, I was like, I like Kristen Wiig in this movie. Like I mean, they're trying to play her as like the stereotypical like, oh, Gal Gadot is like the hot friend, and then we got Kristen Wiig who's the smart but not hot friend, which I disagree with, by the way. I think Kristen Wiig
Right.
is
Kristen
pretty
Wiig
hot.
is hot.
Yeah, she was pretty hot in Wonder Woman 84. But like I it just didn't, and then like the whole like stone plot line, I I don't know who came up with that. I,
Is it like a DC thing, maybe? But
I have no idea. Like it just comes out of like I was like I heard the plot was dumb before I watched it, and then I was like, there's no way they're gonna do this. Like, no way. And this dead ass, like, yeah, I wish this would happen. And then it happens. This rock actually works.
right. And then Big Boy Bad Businessman, main villain. I don't remember his name.
I think,
Pedro Pascal.
yeah,
Um, he he's like the embodiment of the stone. He really like so like the thing is like with genies is like you have 3 wishes,
mhm,
and this man, he did the ultimate cheat, which is like getting unlimited wishes.
yeah.
And also the way that he does it is like he's always like, don't you wish for this? And it's just like it feels weird.
It just, like, the whole movie, it just kind of doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to be like. Do
Right,
you,
it's like 7 things just like
yeah,
smashed in there.
like I guess to be a little bit positive, like I like the colors in the movie, like the colors really popped, but I just wish the plot was a
Right. There are a couple things where like I was like, yes, cheesy 80s superhero, like the mall scene, like
yeah,
yeah, okay, like the CGI was like, but
yeah,
it just had that like sense of like cheesiness that like I just really enjoyed
yeah.
actually. And like
And then it's just like especially the scene that sticks out to me the most in terms of bad visual effects is the scene where they're like on the road. I like I made a few years ago. I've watched Justice League, and I don't recommend that movie. That's a terrible movie. But
bad one.
like, you could see like where the green screen began and where it ended, and it was the
Mm.
same for Wonder Woman. And I was like, how did you fuck this up twice? Like, I just don't get it. I don't know how you messed that up. Like, it just looks really bad. Like, you'll
Yeah.
see like I think they put it in the trailer. See, they knew to hide that in the trailer. They didn't even try to extend it for that long. They were like, nope, we need to get rid of this as soon as possible. Don't show this. It just looks so bad. Like,
Yeah, and then it's like the scene where she's like running,
oh,
but you can like tell that she's running in place. Like it would be so easy to just like have like a treadmill, maybe that would just like
yeah.
give an illusion of something. But
And then like in the movie, she like just she comes up with new powers just randomly. Like,
yeah, yeah, and like there's no like introduction to them at the beginning either,
yeah.
so it's not like a payoff thing. She just like she mentions it and then she does it, and it's
She's like, oh yeah, I can fly now. Like, where did that
my
come
dad
from?
my dad could turn things invisible. I think I can. And then like does it.
Like, I don't think that bothered me as much because it's like it's a dumb superhero movie. I'm not really expecting,
Oh, right.
but like you can't give me any explanation. Like, I
Nothing.
woke up in the middle of the night and I remembered that I had telekinesis. So let me see if I can try that real quick. That's basically what it was. Like,
Right.
I I don't know. I don't know who's to blame for this. Like, I
Patty
like
Jenkins.
I don't know. It may be studio interference, but I feel like Warner Brothers has learned enough, especially with like Suicide Squad and
Batman
Batman.
versus Superman.
Yeah, like I feel like they would have learned their lesson by now to not around with the footage and stuff. But
No.
this is one of the few movies I was kind of glad I didn't pay to watch it because it was on HBO Max. I mean, technically you pay for a subscription service, but
Right.
I think I would have been upset if I went to the movies and paid like a $12 ticket for two and a
Yeah.
half hours. Cause like
That's another thing. This movie is long.
we're I don't know every like this is my general rule of thumb. Like superhero movies, unless you're like Avengers, I guess, even that kind of drags a little bit.
Right.
Like it should not be over 2 hours.
Right. And like it takes forever to get anywhere in this film. We have the action scene in the beginning and then like nothing for like an hour.
Yeah, I just don't. It's just like it's just happening. Like, oh, this happens, and then this happens, and then we have Steve Trevor coming back, and we have this going on, and like, where's the focus?
Can we talk about that for a second? Because this man is in some other man's body, right?
Yeah, threw me off.
And like, there's no. They don't like talk. I mean, like they talk about it like when it first happens,
Yeah,
but like not really. And then just like
it's
never
just
worry.
it's just
Yeah,
Chris Pine for the rest of the movie, and I'm like, wait, he's in another dude's body technically. So how does this
yeah.
work? And I'm like,
And I think like they should have clarified at the end too when Wonder Woman like relinquishes her
yeah,
wish and like he goes away. I just wanted something. I don't know. I think this movie should have been about one thing.
yeah,
But
like
like
this stone like the stone like plot line and the Cheetah plotline are both big enough to cover one movie. I don't know
Right.
whose idea it was to like, we're gonna try to put both of them in the same movie because I feel like there's a compelling story underneath all this. Like,
Exactly. You have the stone like that
mm,
you could wish anything with, which is very dangerous, obviously. And then you've got Cheetah, who is supposed to be like the Wonder Woman rival, like
yeah,
Venom to Spider-Man, I think.
yeah.
And like
I just don't get where
separate
the
them out.
yeah, like I just don't. I feel like if they should have had Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, but don't turn her into Cheetah yet. Save that for the next movie because they're gonna make a
Right, like a
third
little
one.
tease right at the
Yeah, like
end, and that would be like what yeah.
yeah, that'd be way better because I feel like audiences, because a lot of people I talk to that have watched this movie are like, this is not very good and it's really long. It's like it's 2 hours and 30 minutes and
Right.
nothing it's not like I'm watching like movies I expect to be long and there's like a payoff. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes and you finish and you're like, what did I just watch? Like
Right.
Pedro Pascal, like I think he was the only person that realized like what movie, because he was hamming it up pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I Gal Gadot, I I don't know if when she recorded that singing that Imagine video, if like her acting skills just deteriorated after that, because she was never that great to begin with as an actress, but like it's just real, like some of the line delivery is so flat. It
Flat, and she rambles about nothing. The ending speech where I mentioned before,
mm.
she just says like empty words. Just like life is beautiful and truth is beautiful
I
and it's like it's stupid and it means nothing.
like I get what they were trying to go for. I guess they were trying to go for like, you know how like at the end of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, he does like a little monologue and it like, I'm Peter Parker, I'm Spider-Man. I've got to keep doing this. And like it works, but it just feels empty in Wonder
Right.
Woman 84. Like oh, it's just an aggravating movie to watch.
Should we talk about the first one?
Yeah, on a more positive note, we should switch to the first one, because I actually like that movie quite a bit. Like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is cool, and like it has some really good scenes in it, like the scene where basically like the World War I scene is like, no man can cross this, and then like she gets her shield. I think that's a really cool scene, and like
Yeah.
it's a nice heroic moment, and they put the like Hans Zimmer score behind it, and it really builds up. But I, I other than that, like obviously everybody's main complaint is like Ares, the Harry Potter dude. I think that's like Ron's dad or something like that. I don't remember, but
Uh,
he's probably the weakest part. Like I feel like if the movie just kind of ended without that huge battle, it probably would have been better. But it's a pretty good, like it's
yeah.
tolerable. It doesn't feel too long. Like it's actual chemistry between the actors.
Right. There's one plot and things occur because of it and
Yeah,
happen during it. Wonder Woman has an arc in the first movie and she completes it.
yeah,
And like we see that in her character, but and like that is really like important to
mm,
having a good movie, I think. And that's where 1984 misses out because Wonder Woman doesn't change. She
yeah,
doesn't learn anything from this journey that
yeah.
she's going on.
Like like what they could have done. What I thought they were gonna do when I saw the first trailer, I was like, oh, we're gonna get like a movie where like Wonder Woman has to learn to let go of the past and move forward and whatnot.
Right. Because that would make sense.
Yeah. But they just kind of like, I guess they forgot halfway through. They was like, we're just gonna make whatever. Just keep it going. I don't know what's going on.
You're doing great, gal. Just keep going, babe. You got it.
I just I wish she was a better actress so much. Cause like she she's in what other movie have I seen her in? She's in like I think the fifth Fast and Furious movie. But she doesn't have a lot to do in that movie. And that movie's kind of dumb to begin with. So I'm not really expecting like
I'm pretty sure all the women in those movies are just there to look hot. So
yeah. For the most part, yeah. Pretty much. But like even in the first movie, like she had her moments.
right.
Like she was pretty good for the first movie, I would like to think. But in this, it's just like, what happened? I don't know. Maybe they changed like I don't know. Maybe she had an acting coach in the first movie, or I don't know. But
That's a good theory because it was like her first like breakout role, right?
yeah, pretty much.
So
But I just, it makes me kind of worried. Like, wow, I just got off topic back to Wonder Woman 84
no,
once
you're
again.
good.
But like, it just makes me worried for the rest of DC movies, especially because it's been kind of hit or miss. Like, I like Shazam, Suicide Squad. I, I can't even finish that. Man of Steel is just boring. Batman versus Superman,
Bad.
it's boring. Like it's super long, and it's almost the same problem as Wonder Woman 84. It's just trying to do too much,
Right.
and then like first Wonder Woman is pretty good. Like it's a decent film. Like obviously they kind of like they were like, yo, Captain America won, Thor won. Let's put these two in a blender, and like that's not it's not bad. But it's just I don't know what changed in between the first and second movie, but it's just like a huge drop.
I think maybe that in a way the Avengers like completed like a cycle
Mm,
between when the last Wonder Woman came out and now. And I feel like as like Marvel versus DC is such this big thing
mm,
that DC is struggling to keep up and like having this pressure of Wonder Woman actually doing pretty well. Um, they were pressured and like rushed into making the next one possibly, and this is what we get.
that's kind of how the whole movie it feels rushed. Like I don't know, it just feels. I'm kind of glad like they delayed it because of COVID and everything, but it
Right.
just it's bad when you delay a movie and it still feels rushed, and that's how the whole movie felt basically.
Right.
I think the only DC movie that I have hype for, even a little bit of anticipation for, is this Batman movie. And maybe that's because I know it's not connected to anything. They're just letting Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson just kind of go crazy. Just kind of letting them
Dude, my
just
boy R. Pat is about to pop off as Batman.
no. Everybody, I'm in a online. I remember when the casting got announced, people were like the Twilight guy, and like people
Like,
that I
bro.
guess people that don't watch a whole lot of movies, I guess. I was like, you guys haven't seen Good Time or The Lighthouse? He's a great actor.
He's fantastic.
I watched Tenet. This is
Mhm.
completely off topic. I watched Tenet like a week ago, and
That's the really fucking long one, isn't it?
yeah, it's like 2.5 hours, but it's fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm a simple I'm a simple person. I like dumb action movies where a filmmaker just kind of goes crazy and they're trying all these new camera techniques. It's cool. Like, but obviously it's like no plot. The plot is very confusing. I but that's another conversation for another time.
It
But
is.
I really hope this doesn't show because like they have that Suicide Squad movie coming out, which is supposed to be like a huge rebranding. So I hope Wonder
Again.
Woman is not the. Yeah, that no more Jared Leto, I guess.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, but this is another off-topic thing. That movie is Suicide Squad is probably one of the worst edited movies I've ever seen in my life. There's like text that blends into the background, and there's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of like jump cuts. Yeah, that movie gives me a headache.
The
But
best cinema.
I remember, off topic once again. I remember when that movie came out, and I worked at a fast food restaurant, and
Hmm.
everybody was really hype. Like people were coming to my job, and they were dressed in like Joker and Harley Quinn makeup and whatnot.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
I
it
just
was the edgy kid's dream, bro.
like
21 Pilots made a song for it. All the emo kids were popping off.
yeah, it definitely popped off. I feel like they made that whole movie just for like a hot topic ad. Like it
That
that's
is a fantastic theory.
I think they advertised it like that.
I'm
But
pretty sure they did.
like they had like you said, they had 21 Pilots song, and I just I don't get it. I don't get it. I kind of wish Wonder Woman had like a bad pop song to go with it.
See, with the 80s, they could have done that. And
Yeah.
I feel like part of the problem that I have with this movie is that, like, besides like the beginning at the mall, I really
Hmm.
don't, and like occasionally, like what they're wearing and that kind of thing, I just really don't feel like it's not shoehorning the 80s in enough for me.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I would like cheesy music. I would like, I don't know, just more.
Yeah. I I just I it's just a frustrating movie to watch sometimes. It's just like I don't know what's going on half the time, and I
Right. I
knew it
had to,
was oh go ahead.
you go.
I knew it was bad. Like it's the thing with bad movies. Like I start going to sleep during them. Like superhero movies should never put me to sleep. There's only two superhero movies that have done that: Thor 2 and Wonder Woman 1984. Those are the two movies that put me to sleep.
I've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2,
Oh,
Thor Ragnarok, and I think that's it. Those ones, I've never made it past the beginning.
dang. You should give Guardians 2 another shot. I actually like that movie quite a
It's not
bit.
even that it's boring. I dated a guy who would put on Marvel movies to like
Mm.
fall asleep to. So like now I'm conditioned. I'm like Pavlov's dog. So like every time Guardians 2 comes on, I like instantly go to bed. It's just how
You
it
just
is
hear
now.
the Marvel Studios sound, and you're like,
Right.
just
I gotta
straight
go.
nap. That's funny. Uh, but yeah, it's a good movie. It's got some. It's probably got the best cinematography out of all the MCU movies because they make it pretty colorful. I think we're getting another guest. Oh my
Oh my
god,
god. Surprise entry.
he's coming through. I'm gonna have to drop this link. All right, it's connecting.
My laptop sounds like it's about to take off.
Oh gosh, that's why I had to buy a webcam for this because I was like, I can't record this on my MacBook because I feel like my MacBook would explode trying to have all this stuff open. But
I feel like I don't even have that much open.
yeah, I have a bunch of stuff because I'm trying to record. But you go, what's popping, man? What's popping?
Hello, I'm here. Let me get my cam set up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, hello. Okay.
Yep,
Are we discussing Wonder Woman?
We
we
are.
are. Okay, but you go, give your thoughts on Wonder Woman. Either one.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about Either one? Okay. I have more vocal thoughts on 1984 than
As
Wonder
did
Woman
we.
1.
Yeah.
I mean, Wonder Woman 1 is, yeah. Wonder Woman 1 is it's okay. I think that it's good up until the third act. I have some talking points on that. But for 1984, I think that one was quite a interesting experience, mainly because, I mean, I won't say it's bad, but it was questionable in some areas and some choices. The plot felt kind of shaky, like there's a bunch of ideas that sound cool on paper, but weren't really fleshed out enough for the movie itself. I did like the aesthetic. I thought 1984 was a cool setting and everything. Um, but like I said, the plot itself just feels like there was a bunch of ideas that kind of go against each other because they're not really fleshed out. Mainly the whole Dreamstone? Is that Wish Stone they called it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Wish Stone. Max Lord as a villain I thought was a good antagonist. Though I felt like Cheetah was kind of, even though she felt like she didn't really need to be there. She was more there just for the spectacle. Wonder Woman herself was an interesting character, and I liked her relationship with Steve. I'm kind of
Do you
picky on how
think
they brought him back into the story.
do you think that like as a character Wonder Woman, because the first one obviously like she has to learn how to navigate like this world that she's never been a part of, and like that is like really crucial to part of the story of the first Wonder Woman. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that she undergoes some sort of arc in the second one?
Yeah,
Because
I'd say so. Mainly that being that she has to learn to put people first, because obviously she has temptation through the fact that Steve comes back, but she has to give him up to save the world and get her power back, which I thought was a compelling arc. Like giving up your own selfish desires for the greater good. She definitely does have a lot of like hero moments in this movie. That's a funny thing. A lot of superhero stories nowadays are just all about action. You don't really see the heroes actually saving people, and I thought that was something this movie actually did really well. Um, Other than that, talk about the villains, talk about her, talk about the story. Yeah, all in all, I like the message it's going for to promote trying to do things for the greater good and not all being selfish. It's just that the plot itself had some very shaky moments that kind of diluted that, but the message overall was definitely heartwarming and hopeful. So, you know, mixed bag, I guess, is the best way to put it all.
I'm really glad that you popped in because Trevor and I just spent like 20 minutes just absolutely taking a on this movie,
No.
and you came in with a hell yeah. No, I enjoy it. I think that it's nice to have a different perspective on it because I definitely like did not feel like there was as important of an arc for Wonder Woman, but I definitely see where you're
Mm.
coming from, where like her having to learn how to make this sacrifice is is an arc, obviously, but I don't know. That's fun.
Mhm.
Definitely, definitely. Like, yeah, we really did.
We did. We really did take a fucking massive on this movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely has some weird, shaky stuff going on in it. That makes me wonder, like, what they're going on in the writing room. But yeah, like, did you guys talk about? Because there's some plot stuff I can get into. Mainly one of them is the golden armor. I think is what they called it. Because I remember they set that up as a big
Right, how
thing.
it was just wrapped up and she just like happened
She just
upon it.
had it, and then like in the final act, she just kind of has it, and it felt like it didn't really need to be there. Like it just kind of wanted to be like, oh, Wonder Woman's got a new design. Or
Well, I think the point of that was like it was because she didn't have her powers back yet, right?
I thought she
I
had her
don't know.
powers back at that point. I might be wrong. Because I
I think like
remember she revoked her wish, but I might be wrong.
so I think like she like said goodbye to Steve, right? But didn't
Mm-hmm.
revoke her wish at that point. Or they didn't make it clear enough that
Oh,
she
okay.
did. I think she just said goodbye and then I think she revokes her wish like when she is finally facing up with Cheetah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Um, Cheetah herself. I don't really. Did they explain why she became a cheetah? I felt like I missed a scene because she kind of just had Wonder
She
Woman's
was just
powers, and she said
suddenly
that she wanted to be an apex. That was weird.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
She was
something.
just like, I want to be just like Diana, and then like,
He just turned into a cheetah, I guess. I don't really remember. That's kind of that part of the movie is a little bit of a blur for me. So
yeah. No, there are definitely some parts where I was like doing something else. Like I just was like, nope, I'm not interested.
yeah, it's definitely like I think if I had a choice of movies that I could watch, like put on just in the background, like it's a good background noise movie, I guess. Like somebody came in the
Oh,
room, like, "Oh, yo, what are you watching?" Yeah, I'm watching the new Wonder Woman, bro. Like it's just kind of on. That's kind of how I felt watching it the whole time because I wasn't paying 100% attention like I tried to. I was on my phone, but hey, it's okay, I guess.
Trevor and I discussed how it felt like the Stone and Cheetah probably should have been two separate movies. How do you feel about that?
oh, most certainly. Like I feel like Max Lord and the Dreams Wishstone story and Cheetah's story could have been two completely different things. But at the very least, like set up Cheetah, then have her come back in another movie because she really didn't have to be there. And I feel like she took some screen time because Max
Right.
Lord, I actually did like him as the antagonist. I liked his whole working his way up through greed. Then he ultimately, instead of having to be like just blown up or something, he finds solace through his son. I thought that was nice and wholesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cheetah really just distracted from all of that.
Right. And she really wasn't in it all that much.
Uh,
Yeah. Hey, Kristen Wiig got the check though, so I
Yes,
guess.
she did.
uh, I thought that
I
I definitely
guess.
agree with that point. Like it, I don't know why they tried to force it into one movie. I guess because they wanted like a big superhero fight scene, superhero versus supervillain at the end. So they were like,
Right. They wanted like
Mhm.
the Batman v Superman like
yeah,
big fight.
hey,
And that's like exactly what I complained about with like the last one because I thought the last one was really good up until the third act, where it just turns into like God of War, with Ares showing up and they're like shooting lasers and stuff, and I'm like, am I watching a different movie? It just felt really out of nowhere. But that's kind of what happened with like Cheetah to a lesser degree, I think, in this
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
definitely,
We
definitely,
talked about that a little bit, I think. How like people's biggest problems with the first one was Ares
yeah.
and
They just kind of they did it again. It seems like they're just like we didn't learn our lesson. Just
they have a
throw it in
formula.
there.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, Patty Jenkins. I think she said in an interview about the first movie, she was like, "I didn't want the huge fight scene to be at the end of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers told me I had to put that in there." So I don't know if it
Yeah,
was
I
the
can
same.
definitely see that being a studio thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
like we got to sell these toys, man. We got to put the action scene at the very end so the kids are like, "Yo, mom, I want this Ares action figure." Like I I just don't get it.
It's that and then like the oh my god, I completely forgot my point. Hold on. It's gone. Vanished.
Mm.
Like I don't know. I feel like I don't get like this is a problem with a lot of superhero movies nowadays. I feel like that insistence on like you have to end with an action, like a huge action scene basically. Like when we think about like
Mhm.
great superhero movies, whether it be like Spider-Man 2 or The Dark Knight, they don't really have like a huge like earth-shattering battle at the end. Like it's much more personal. Like the character arcs kind
Mhm.
of come to a head at the end, basically.
Right.
And I don't know if it's they just want to try to copy, but even like Marvel movies don't end like that. I don't know. I guess DC is just trying so hard to be different that they're like,
It's
hey,
detrimental.
yeah, it's hurting the film overall. We've been trying to shove in a third act fight scene. I don't get it.
Did you see the rumor that they were gonna cut like one of the intros?
I did not see that.
They
Oh yeah, because there's the two intros, the one with a young Wonder Woman and the one where she's in the mall, right?
yeah, so like the
Oh,
Olympic-esque and then
got you.
the mall. They like told Patty to like cut one. I think the Olympic scene and she was like, "No." So,
Yeah, that
I
did
think they
feel
should have cut
really
it
weird.
because
Oh, go ahead, my bad.
all it sets up is all it like sets up is like the golden armor, which could have been introduced in any other scene. Uh, but yeah, like that's about it. So I think they just wanted to use young Diana's actress to get her another like pay and role or something. 'Cause that's the only
yeah,
reason I could see them including that.
Pretty much, like,
get that kid a check, bro.
like that felt real.
Yeah,
I just remembered that how weird that felt because they try to like intercut between the two, and it's really weird. Like, I
Two intros.
I just don't. I can see why they wanted her to cut one, and she was like, "Nah, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna leave them both in."
Yeah.
it reminds me because just like 2 days ago I watched another movie with the same problem, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like this is like the second time
Hey.
watching it. That movie has like two intros as well. Now that I think about it, it has because it opens on Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because it opens on a scene in which Peter's parents have like left him at the house and they've gone on the plane, and then you have this big epic action fight scene with some secret agent meant to assassinate them, and then right after that it cuts to Peter like just swinging through the city and like stalking a rhino, and I'm just sitting here like why? And after the movie I'm like why was that plane scene in it? Because like his parents really their story doesn't matter at all in the movie. So
Yeah.
they could have just cut that and opened on the shot of Peter like fighting the rhino. And I feel like they just wanted a cool action scene or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of movies seem to suffer from that overextended prologue problem.
That's
I
that's a
agree.
that's a really good comparison. I completely forgot about that scene with Peter Parker's parents. That's such a
Mm-hmm.
mouthful of words, by the way. But I completely forgot about that scene where it's like it turns into like a spy movie. Uh, we have to save a whole episode for the Amazing
Yeah,
Spider-Man
right.
2
We gotta cover the whole fucking
Mm-hmm.
series.
because I
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole nother can of worms. So I'm not trying to open. But yeah, that's a really good comparison because there's two intros in that movie and there's two intros in Wonder Woman. Both of those movies have too much going on. There's like multiple villains, and it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of happens. It's like
And none of it
random.
matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a really good comparison. Give me
Yeah.
some.
With that being said, it's time to go.
Yep. So I
We're
guess we'll
wrapping up
do.
now.
Yeah. I guess we'll do
Okay.
outros real quick. So
All right then.
whoever wants to go first, I guess. Or
So what do you do for like outros? What do you think?
I guess you can just
What do you have?
like. Uh, oh, I just forgot my own segment that I came up with. So at the end of the show, basically,
Okay.
just like we can recommend something, it can be anything. It can be a movie, TV show, cereal brand. It doesn't matter. Just recommend. Want to try and recommend something every time we get
All
together.
right then. Well, I'll recommend something then. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool. Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. It is a little favorite series of mine. It is a 6 episode miniseries called FLCL, just the letters FLCL. It stands for Fooly Cooley, which I don't know what that means, but that's what it's called. Point is, it's a 6 episode animated series. It is completely bonkers. I can't really describe. It doesn't really have a plot. Its whole plot is that just crazy stuff happens involving robots, guitars, and all kinds of crazy nonsense. Just it's about a young, down to earth, like middle school kid He thinks his life is boring. Then everything just goes crazy when this random girl from space shows up. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It has good animation. The creator of the story just kind of wanted to put a bunch of crazy stuff he liked in his life, like guitars and sci-fi on screen, and so he went with his gut, and it turned out pretty good. So I would recommend that definitely.
Cool. Sophie.
Sure. I will recommend a good, nice warm bath to close out your day. I do enjoy a good warm
Nice.
bath when I'm nice and achy. I know that these are stressful times right now, so do yourself a little
Definitely.
relaxing. Maybe read a book in the tub. You know.
Definitely. I guess I'll go ahead and recommend. I played that Spider-Man game not too long ago. Spider-Man Miles Morales on PlayStation 4 and 5. It's a really fun game. It's got a good story. I like swinging around the city, so it's kind of like a boyhood dream, I guess, come to life. But
Yo.
yeah, that's what I'll recommend. I think it's like what $40, so 40 or 50, I don't remember, but I'll recommend that if anybody's able to, So
Definitely.
all right, so this has been the 1080C podcast. We're bi-weekly, so when's the next? I guess we'll work that out later. But
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, adios.
Bye.